Alright, so in this problem, I have 2 to the power of 22 times 3 to the power of 33. So to solve this, what I'm going to do is first rewrite 2 to the power of 22 as 2 to the power of 11 times 2. And now I have this times 3 to the power of 33. Well, 33 is, again, a multiple of 11. That's the same thing as 11 times 3. So this is equal to 2 to the power of 11 times 2 times 3 to the power of 11 times 3. Now, from here, there is an important property of exponents that I'm going to use to further develop this problem. So if I have something in the form a to the power of m times n, this is equal to a to the power of m to the power of n. So basically, these two exponents simply multiply and result in a to the power of m times n. So 2 to the power of 11 times 2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this form and change it into this form. So 2 to the power of 11 times 2, I'm going to rewrite that as 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 11. And remember, this is also the same thing as 2 to the power of 11 to the power of 2. These two are the same because at the end of the day, they both are going to equal 2 to the power of 2 times 11. So now, I'm going to rewrite this as 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 11 times 3 to the power of 3 to the power of 11. So I did the same thing with 3 to the power of 11 times 3. Now, I'm actually going to simplify what's in the parentheses. So I have 2 squared in the parentheses, which is equal to 4 to the power of 11. And I have 3 to the power of 3 in the parentheses, which is equal to 27 to the power of 11. And now if I have something in the form a to the power of m times b to the power of m, this is equal to a times b to the power of m. So 4 to the power of 11 times 27 to the power of 11, this is equal to 4 times 27 to the power of 11. And now 4 times 27, that's going to equal 108. So now I have 108 to the power of 11. And this is my final equation, or sorry, not final solution to this problem. Alright, so in this problem, I have 8 to the power of x is equal to 16. So I want to find the value of x here. So for my solution, I'm going to start by rewriting my equation here. So my equation is 8 to the power of x is equal to 16. Now, before we start doing anything, let's just inspect this problem real quick. So if I plug in x equals 1 into this equation, I get 8 to the power of 1 is equal to 16, which 8 to the power of 1 is the same thing as 8, so I get 8 equals 16, which is false, right? Now if I plug in x equals 2, I get 8 to the power of 2 is equal to 16, and 8 to the power of 2 is 64. So I get 64 equals 16. And notice how there's a big gap between 8 and 64. So we know that the value of x is not going to be a whole number but a decimal, and it's going to be somewhere in between 1 and 2. So x is greater than 1 but less than 2. We know this. Now, how are we going to actually solve this problem and find the exact value of x? Well, what I can do is rewrite 16 as 8 times 2. Now what I'm going to do is divide both sides by 8. So then these two cancel out, and I get 8 to the power of x over 8 is equal to 2. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m over a to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m minus n. So a to the power of x over a to the power of 1 is equal to a to the power of x minus 1, which is equal to 2. Now, a is the same thing as 2 to the power of 3, so I get 2 to the power of 3 to the power of x minus 1 is equal to 2. And if I have something in the form a to the power of m to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m times n. So 2 to the power of 3 to the power of x minus 1 is the same thing as 2 to the power of 3 times x minus 1. And 3 times x minus 1, I can distribute 3, so I get 2 to the power of 3x minus 3 is equal to 2. And 2 is the same thing as 2 to the power of 1. And if I have something in the form a to the power of m is equal to a to the power of n, this means that m is equal to n. So this means that 3x minus 3 is equal to 1. And now if I add 3 on both sides, I get 3x is equal to 4, and x is equal to 4 over 3. Now, there actually is another way to solve this problem. What I can also do is at the start rewrite both of these in bases of 2. So 8 is the same thing as 2 to the power of 3, so I get 2 to the power of 3 to the power of x, and 16 is the same thing as 2 to the power of 4. Now this is the same thing as 2 to the power of 3x is equal to 2 to the power of 4, meaning that 3x is equal to 4, and x is equal to 4 over 3. So this is a much simpler method of solving this problem.